Hey everybody! Well, it's been a while since I built a model kit, and I was at the hobby shop today, and I've noticed that those Gundam kits are becoming super popular. There's an entire aisle devoted to them now at my hobby shop. So this is really cool. I saw this one down there. This is called Tamotu. It's a little robot. I don't know if this is from some kind of a Japanese anime show or something like that, but it's kind of like a little worker robot, which looks really neat. We can see it right here. Now, looking at the side of the box, we can see all this detail right here. Now, everything's in Japanese, so I'm going to be using the Google Translate for this, but we can see how he looks when he's all put together. This is the skeleton version, meaning that you can see through his outer shell right there. It's all clear, and you can see the details that are going to be underneath it. That little thing on the top, I think, is some kind of a tool or something that they have. As you can see here, it extends out, and there's a little claw gripper kind of thing. I think it's a little maintenance robot. Notice how the legs pop out. They're in kind of like a retracted position there. He's got wheels on the bottom, but I don't know if the wheels actually roll. And then here, if you take the clear sections off, you got the underside of him right there. And then here's another stance. So you can actually pose him in all kinds of very interesting ways. On this side, we can see there's other color variations. They have white, black, orange, and blue. I didn't see any of these other color variations. But if I like this model kit enough, I might buy all of them just because I really love the way this robot looks. It looks kind of cute, you know, it's like a little cute robot. And you guys know how I am a sucker for cute robots. But I think it'll be fun. Alright, let's take a look at the parts. So here are all the parts now, and you can see there's not a whole lot of parts, which is fine by me actually. But as you can see, the detail on this is fantastic. There's a lot of nice little cool mechanical looking details on this thing, which I absolutely love. I will say that these Japanese kits are very impressive. The detail on them is really good, and they tend to go together really, really good, especially those Bandai kits. Here's another section here. Now, the color scheme on this is gunmetal, according to the instructions, and I was going to paint this, but I'm thinking now I better not paint it because there's going to be so much moving parts on this thing that if you paint it, it's going to probably end up ruining the ability for those parts to move, and I don't know also how close the tolerance is for the parts. Look at these really nice clear parts. Let's see if I can get a better look at these. But you can see how they look. Now, because this is the clear version, you're going to see all the details underneath, versus the ones that have the colored shells on the outside. This here looks like there may be some kind of a light lens or something. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to paint this, the gunmetal I was planning on doing, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to paint all these details. Like, I mean, not a whole bunch. I don't want to go crazy with it. I just want to maybe highlight some of the stuff on here and just kind of help bring it out a little bit. It does have a little bit of a paint guide on the instructions, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with those. Now here are the instructions. Kind of just gives you the parts here, but here you can see how everything goes together. This should hopefully be easy enough to put together since everything's in Japanese, but it shouldn't be too bad. I don't think this is a kit that you have to glue. It's probably like a Bandai kit. I think the parts just snap together. You can probably glue some things if you choose to do so. But see, when they have special instructions like that, I'm going to have to use the old Google Translate to figure all that out, because I don't want to screw anything up. But I think this is going to be a fun little kit to put together. I'm really looking forward to this. And you know, you can just customize it any way you want. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like a darker... Oh, it's probably to show you. See, I love those legs. I love how they pop out from the main body. It's really neat. I'm really impressed with the way they do a lot of the details on this kind of a kit. Look at that when it's all finished. Now see, on the other side here, there's a little bit of a paint guide where you can see there's some silver highlights around the eyes and those little areas on the leg. So I'll try to do those. And I'm not sure what that is there. I mean, as far as, well, maybe some silver paint in those areas too. A little bit of like a orange color. I'm guessing those are supposed to be lights. Some stuff on the bottom as well. It looks like mostly silver. A little bit of red right there maybe. Yeah, it looks like mostly silver highlights. And that's what he looks like when he's complete. He's really cool looking. I love it. Not sure what that is. I'll have to read what that is. That might be part of the storyline for the show that this comes from, I'm assuming. Here's all the different poses you can put him in. I love the little pincher type things for his hands. So like I said, I think he's a little repair robot or a little worker robot. So, look at that. Now you can add other parts to this. There's like expansion packs for this line of models, and I think that's really cool that they did that. You can add other pieces from other parts to this and make him have other tools and other functions. So yeah, very, very cleverly done. All right, well, I'm going to get started on this. All right, so this is going together pretty good. All of this is snapped to fit, and the parts fit nice and tight, so there's no loose fitting pieces or anything falling off. There is a lot of really tiny painting that you got to do, like these little, well, actually, on the model, it looks like they have silver right there. I put copper on there because there's a lot of silver on this, and I wanted to break it up a little bit. Same with back here, I wanted to put some copper on there just to break up some of the color. There's some silver on that little vent thing. His eyes have silver rings, but once you put this dome on it, they're a little harder to see, and there's black inside the eyes. And there's also a silver ring at the top, but once you put that dome on, you don't really see it. Up here is all the little lights. These were really tiny to paint. There's like a clear lens that goes over that, over this silver, and then that little kind of orangish color. And then back here you got the, I guess they were kind of like the tail lights, which is kind of cool, and more of that orange. So because this coloring is so small, or all the little painting, I've been using these metallic Sharpies. Boy, these come in handy for that really tiny paint. And they look really good, and they're easy to apply. And then for that orange light back there, I just used one of these micro brush kind of things and just dipped it in the paint right in there and just kind of let it drop down in there, and then just put a blow dryer on it so that it would dry a little bit quicker. And here's all the legs. Got all these built, and more of the Sharpie marker for the silver highlights right there. And then I did paint the wheels. The wheels don't turn, they're molded in, but I just used black paint on those. They're kind of hard to see from far away because they kind of blend in with the gunmetal of the actual robot. But yeah, so far so good. I'm really loving this build, and everything's going together really good. And here he is, all finished now, and oh man, this was a fun little kit. He's pretty small. I wish he was a little bigger, but overall I think he looks really cool. I think the reason I like this robot so much is it kind of reminds me of Vector a little bit, and so maybe that's why. So this is really neat looking. He's kind of like a little maintenance robot, and I like the little tool up here. Lots of little detail. I would say that this clear covering does kind of take away from some of the details in there. I painted a bunch of different things, and I'll get a close-up of him here. But that kind of doesn't, end up getting seen once you put that clear cover on. But you can take this, well, this part of it, you can take these clear covers off if you want to, so you can see the details of him underneath. But then he looks kind of weird. But then again, this is the skeleton version where you can see inside. The other ones being solid, you probably won't have to do a whole lot of painting on him underneath, because you're not really going to see a whole lot of it unless you decide to take the outer shell out. But this clear one I think is a little bit better because you can customize them a little more and do a little more painting and detailing. Alright, well, let's get a closer look at him. Alright, let's check out the details here. So underneath there, I mean, I've pretty much showed you most of the stuff that I painted. I did end up painting these little silver bits inside there and right there, and also down here at the bottom. That's how they show it in the instructions as well. I'm probably getting a lot of glare on here, so it's probably hard to see here on the front. I really like the way these clear pieces went on. They went on really good. Also, the head can turn. You can see you can turn his head here. And you can also pull the head up just a little bit, and it'll make his head pivot back and forth. But every time I try to do that, the dome just comes off. I mean, the clear part of the dome. So it doesn't matter, though. I mainly just, as long as he can turn his head, I'm good with that. You can see that chrome, the copper detailing in there. And on the bottom here, I decided to deck that out a little bit. Just added, they do show that these are black, and it looks like these are silver on the instructions too. So I went ahead and added that silver highlight. Once again, those metallic Sharpie markers, boy, those come in handy for really tiny details like that, because those lines are really thin. I had a little bit of gold right there, which I thought was nice. Kind of wish the wheels turned. That would have been a kind of a cool thing. Back here is what I call his tail lights and the little orange things. But I also added this this copper to the little ribs right there. Just thought that that kind of would help bring that out a little bit. And you can just kind of see the copper in there a little bit. See over here. Oh, and also some silver on the ends. But yeah, very cool. I also added this little bit of copper right here on the tool. It just needed something in there, so I just made a little square of copper, silver on the top, the little guns right there, and then another copper square over here, and then also some silver right in there. So there was actually quite a bit. I've actually added quite a bit of detailing in there. All right, let me show you the cool little functions of him. All right, so besides the fact that his head can turn, the legs are really cool. These can actually come out. They can pull out and they're retractable. But see how they got that neat little like ball jointed, or it's kind of just a little jointed thing right there. You can see how it works underneath. He's very, very articulated. There's all kinds of really cool moving parts that we can mess around with on here. And then let me pull these out. So it gives him a different stance when he's standing, like this. So now it kind of gives him little legs. I think that's really cool. And you can make these go forward and backward, because it's also on another joint down inside there. So you can make him kind of level him out a little bit here. So now he's kind of like got his legs outward. That is really cool. So it looks like, you know, he can kind of walk around. I love that. And then the tool up here, let me see if I can get a better view of that. So this whole thing is also completely articulated. You can actually bend this up and down like that. And then it also can turn. So it's a pivot right there. And then you can pull this up. And you can actually extend this. It actually has an extension right there. I thought that was really cool. I didn't know it did that until I got to that part of the build. Nice little clear detailing that goes on there. And then down here we got this little thing that pops out. And what these are, is they are, if I can get a grip of them, it's kind of hard to get your nail on them, but there we go. They're a little, it's like a little claw, so you can reach down and grab things, I'm guessing. And then this whole thing can pivot as well from the little extension point. So there is all kinds of points of articulation on here. I don't even know how many, but it's very, very cool. I mean, they really figured this out. I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure if this is some kind of a anime character. But yeah, and this also can turn up here as well. You can kind of turn this. So you can angle that whichever way you want. Yeah, I mean, there is just a ton of articulation on here. It's actually amazing how many different things move, considering that this is just a model kit. So there you have it, the Tamotu robot from Kotobukiya and Maruttoys. Fantastic kit. Absolutely love putting this together. Everything went together perfect and flawless. It was really well engineered. You can totally customize this however you want, paint it however you want, or not paint it at all, however you want to do this. The other color variations, I might try to get some of those just because I think they'll be fun to build too. At least with those, you probably don't have to worry so much about painting the interior stuff, because you're not going to see any of that. And it'd be kind of neat to have, you know, maybe each color. But I found this at my hobby shop, like I mentioned, but it was $35.99, and I found out that Amazon's got them for $10 cheaper. I should have went and bought it there, but you know, my hobby shop tends to be a little overpriced anyway. But there we go. I think it's a pretty cool kit. So if you want one of those, head over to Amazon. There's a different version too. It's got kind of this weird looking smooth thing that goes over the top of the body. That one was $10 more on Amazon, but I might get one of those too. I think it looks really neat. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd really appreciate that, and I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you again, and have a good one.